Hello, Math Champions. In this video, we are going to learn about integers. Now, what are integers? You would have learned numbers using number line, right? Where you have started from 0. Then next to the right side, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, right? What happens or what numbers would exist to the left side of the 0? Okay. If we try to do that, what happens from one step from 0, you get a 1. Two steps from 0 to the right side, you get a 2, right? So similarly, one step behind the 0 will be a -1. Two steps behind or left to the of the 0 will be a -2. So with the same concept, with the same understanding of how 1, 2, 3 after the 0 is done, just like that, start doing the left side, you get the integers. So it goes like this. Nearest to the 1 will be a -1. Okay, you don't start from here -1, -2, -3. No, it's not that way. So starting from the 0, 0 is our reference always, and starting from the 0 to the left side, numbers keep on coming like -1, -2, -3, -4. Okay. This is how now all these numbers, including these numbers, that is a negative number. These are all called negative numbers. -1, -2, -3 and all are called negative numbers. And from 0, they are called whole numbers. So these whole numbers included with the negative numbers together is called integers. Okay. Now in this video, we are going to learn to compare the integers, just like which is higher, which is greater, which is lesser, that one, and addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. These are the things that we are going to learn very, very briefly, but with a proper understanding. Okay. So now, what if we see that when we compare normal numbers, right? When we compare a 9 and a 2, what is larger? 9 is larger. Why is it larger? Because 9 is very, very far right side, it is far from 0, right? So whichever is the rightmost, this is more. And this was less. The 2 was less. Continuing the same concept, if you continue like this, as you go towards the left, that will become lesser and lesser. That means now comparing with the 9, -1, this is going to be less. Okay, that means -1 is less than 9. Now if we compare, let's say minus 9, okay, -9 is here, which is again to the left side. That means it's going to be lesser than 9. So -9. Now, what if I compare, instead of a positive number, two negative numbers only I'm going to compare. Okay. Let's say 3, -3. Okay. -3. If I'm comparing the -9 and -3, whatever is there to the right side is always more. So -9 is lesser than -3. So that's all is the concept. As you place those numbers on the number line, whichever is to the leftmost, that number is going to be lesser than the other numbers. Simple. Same concept as we used to follow for positive numbers. Okay. Now, in this, all these numbers are called positive integers. And all the numbers starting from -1 are called negative integers. 0 is neither a positive number nor a negative number, but still it is an integer. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now let's go to see how do we do addition. Addition of integers. Let me take two integers, okay, two integers, and I'm going to give you example. Let's say 3 and 5. Okay. Now I'm going to give various combinations of 3 and 5. And we are going to do addition on one side and we are going to do subtraction on one side with the same number so that you understand how the things are working. So, okay, this side addition and this side subtraction we're going to do. I'm going to take a 3 and a 5 here. Same here also 3 and a 5. for the sake of convenience. Now, various different combinations. Here, both the numbers are 3 and 5 are positive and positive. Okay. Let me take one of the numbers as negative. Then let me take the other number as negative and this is positive. So 3 is positive and 5 is a negative number. And let me take both the numbers as negative numbers. So here is we are doing, what is it we are doing? We are doing addition. So I'm going to do the addition of these numbers. Okay. So when there is a positive sign, positive number, we don't generally write any sign. Still, it will be called as a positive number. However, I'm going to put these brackets for the sake of understanding it clearly. Okay. So these are the numbers that I've taken for addition. Similarly, I will do for this also here, 3 and a 5, minus 3 and a 5, minus 3 and a minus 5, and sorry, plus 3 and a minus 5, and minus 3 and a minus 5. Now here, we are going to do subtraction. Subtraction we are going to do. So we are going to use the same kind of brackets we are going to use to understand that these numbers are like this. We're going to understand that. And yeah, here it is. Our questions are ready. Now let's try to find the answers. How do we find the answers? Again, when we learned addition, when we are in younger classes, we learned using number lines, right? How did we start? Whatever was the first number, we will start from there. And if it's an addition, that means it's a plus, we go to the right side. We continue to go right side. Means what? From 0, I have come to 3. Means I'm coming to the right side. Okay. And plus means what? I continue in the same direction forward. Means I was coming to the right side. I will come to the same right side. I will continue 5 steps. That's the meaning. Correct? So, I was coming 3. I am coming to the right side, 3, and I continue in the same direction and I reach 5 more steps forward. My answer is 8. So this we know. Let's see the next one. Okay. Means what? Plus means we are going to the right side. Okay. Plus means we go to the right side. Now what do we do? For 3 plus 5, what did we do? Starting from 3, we went forward the right side and we got 8. Now, the next question is minus 3 plus 5. That means I start from minus 3. Plus means I go to the right side. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, my answer is 2. Positive 2. Now, let's go to the next question. So this is a 2. Now 3, starting from 3, I start from 3. Yes, plus means I have to go to the right side. Right side. But however, here inside the bracket, it says a minus 5. Minus means I have to go to the left side. So though I start from 3 and it's an addition, but since the integer is a negative integer, it has a minus, I go to the left side. That means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I reach here. So it's a negative 2 is the answer. I hope you're understanding how it is happening. Positive means I go to the right side. Negative means I go to the left side. Now let's take the next question. Minus 3. So I start from minus 3. Plus means I have to go to the positive direction. Fine, I have to go to the positive direction. But then the thing, it says inside the brackets, it's a minus 5. That means because of this minus, I have to go to the left side instead of the right side. Right? So I go to the left side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I reach at minus 8. So that will be my answer. I hope you're clear with this. Now let's go and see how subtraction happens. How subtraction happens. In the same number line we're going to use, and the same thing applies. Plus means I go to the right side. Minus means I go to the left side. Now, 3 minus 5. 3 minus 5 means I start from 3 minus. Because it's a minus, I go to the left side, right? When we do subtraction, usually also, when we say usual number 7 minus 4, I start from 7, go back to the left side. Left side I go and I 4 steps and I get the answer, right? Similarly, I start from 3 and I go left side 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm getting the answer as minus 2. Okay, next, our question is, I start from minus 3. I start from minus 3 and because of this minus, I have to still go left side. I start from minus 3 and I go left 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I end up at minus 8. So that will be my answer. Next, 3 minus, okay, I start from 3 that I know. And now I know because of this minus, I know how to go to the left side. However, there's a minus again with the integer 5. So minus 5 it is. So this direction gets reversed. Because of the minus outside the bracket, I was going left side. Now there's another minus inside the bracket. So the left direction gets totally reversed. Now I will have to go to the right side only. Right side 5 steps and I reach at positive 8. That will be my answer. Now next question. I start from negative 3. Minus means I should be going left side. However, there's again a minus inside the bracket. So that reverses the entire direction. I go to the right side, even starting from minus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I reach at 2. That will be my answer. See, if you see this, you are clear with the concept. And I want you to understand, notice something very unique. If you see here, in this two situations, the signs of the integers are same. In such a case, what happens? If it's a positive integer, it gets added up and you get a positive answer. And here also, signs are same. It's a minus sign and a minus sign. You're adding it. What is happening? Whenever you're doing that, the numbers as such get added up and the same sign is going to be put. So when the signs are same, we put the same sign and we add up the value. But in the case of these two cases where the signs are different, what happens? The difference between those two numbers, that is 5 and 3 is 2. 5 and 3 is 2. But what sign should be the answer be? Whichever number, like the 5 has a positive sign. So the answer is also positive. Here the larger number, right? The larger, the modulus number, the 5 is having a negative sign. So you're putting a negative sign. This is the trick. Okay, this is a trick for you to remember. However, when you understand this concept, use the number line in your mind, you'll always come right. So though you can use a trick, but I would say you understand the concept and use the number line, picture the number line in your mind and do the calculations and do it. Okay. So now you've learned addition and subtraction of integers. Let's go forward and learn multiplication. Okay. Let's take two numbers. Let's say for example, 4 multiplied by 5. What is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is 4 times 5. 4 times 5. That's the meaning. 4 times 5 is getting added. That means 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. That's the meaning of 4 times 5. And that is how we get 20. Right? Now, if instead of a positive integers, what happens if I have a negative 4 multiplied by 5? What do we know? That, see, this can be written like this also. Or let's take 4 multiplied by negative 5. Let's take like that. 4 multiplied by negative 5 instead of a positive 5. So, what happens? This negative 5, like this 4 times you're going to have. and all these negative 5s are going to be added. So when we learned addition, what did we learn? If it's a -5 and -5, start from -5, go to the left side, still 5 more steps, you get to -10, -15, -20. So you end up with the answer of -20. Okay. Now what did we notice here? We noticed that whatever the answer we got, the numbers, the answer, like the numerical, like the modulus of it, the value of it was 20 only. But however, because one of the integers was a negative, so we got a negative as answer. When we see this pattern, now when we see this pattern, even with this, like this, right? -4 times 5, or we can read it as 5 times -4. That means -4, -4, -4, 5 times this -4 is going to come. When we start like this, you start from -4, go back left steps, left 4 steps. If you could do that, you will get a -20. So from this, what did we find? Both these answers are same. 4 times -5 is also -20. -4 times 5 is also -20. From this, we can see that any numbers, when we have integers multiplication, multiply the numerical values. And if there is only one of the signs, one of the integers is having a negative sign, the answer will also be a negative sign. What happens if I have a -4 multiplied by a -5? Let's understand this. Now, if you see 4 times 5 was a 20, but a -4, 4 times 5 was a 20, -4 times 5 was nothing but the same answer, but with a negative sign. So what I'm going to do is, this is same like negatives, I'm just keeping it outside. This is same like this, isn't it? -4 times -5 is same as multiply the 4 times -5 and take a negative of it. That's the meaning. Now, we know that 4 times -5, from the previous line you can see, it is a -20. Okay, so now, what happens to negative of a negative? Negative of a negative means it becomes positive. Means what? The -20 was on the left side of the number line, correct? Now, I'm going to reverse it completely. Means it's going to come to this side. So it's going to become a +20. That's the meaning. That's the visualization. That's the understanding that you have. So what happens? The answer is a +20. This shows what? That when we have two negative integers when we are multiplying, again, the numerical value will be a multiplication of those numerical values. But now, because both the signs are negative, negative number times a negative number is going to give me a positive number. If only one of the numbers is a negative number, you get a negative answer. But if both the numbers are negative numbers, you get a positive number as answers. That means what? To summarize, 4 times 5 is a +20. -4 times -5 is also a +20. That means both the signs are same. That time when the signs are same, I'm getting the same +20 as answer. Now, if it is a 4 times -5 or a -4 times 5, in both these cases, one of the numbers is negative number. So I get the answer as -20. If only one of the numbers, okay? Now, what happens if I have more than two numbers? So I will have to do one by one. In this sense, like for example, -1 times 2 times -3. If I have, what should I do? First multiply these two, then I get a -2. Then -2 multiplied by -3. Both the numbers are negative. That means I get a +6. That's the answer for us. So here we finished multiplication of integers. Now let's go for division of integers, right? Okay, so let's take 12 divided by 3. What is the meaning of this? The meaning of this is actually 12. Okay, what if you multiply, correct? Okay, let's take the other way around. What if you multiply with 3? Will you get this 12? That's the meaning, correct? 3 multiplied by what will give me the 12. So it's a 4. What happens if I do a negative 12 divided by 3? What should I multiply with 3 to get the negative 12 as the answer? If you remember, in the multiplication, if the answer is negative, one of the integers is negative, but our 3 is not negative. That means our this question mark number must be a negative number. And what will give me a 12? It's a 4. So the answer will be a negative 4. Correct? Simple. The same concept as we used to use for normal numbers, we can use. If for example, I have a 12 divided by a negative 3. So now again, I have to think, what should I multiply with negative 3 to get a positive 12? Now that means I'm like this, I'm having like this. So what will give me a positive 12? We know the multiplication answer will be positive when both the integers are negative. That means it's a negative number here. And what will give me a 12 is a 4. So it's a negative 4. Similarly, for negative 12 divided by negative 3. Same way, what if I multiply with negative 3? Will I get a negative 12? Because the answer is negative, one of the integers only should be negative. Already this is negative, so I don't need a negative number here. So it's a positive 4 that will come as the answer. So in this way, and many times children learn it like this, like my negative 12 over negative 3, the minus and minus are cancelled. No, that's a wrong way of understanding. That should not be understood like that, right? Because minus and minus, they do not cancel like that. That does not happen. So like 0, for example, children learn as if 40 divided by 60 means the 0 and 0 cancel. No, things don't cancel like that. This actually means 40 divided by 10 and 60 divided by 10. Equivalent fraction concept will come. So let's not confuse and say plus into plus is plus into minus is minus. That kind of things is all tricks and which will not help you to remember with concept. When you understand with the concept, then you can apply it anywhere. That's how math champions learn. They learn why and how, not just the tricks. So here you learned that the concept, we know that from the beginning, like when the time you have learned division, what if I multiply with 3? Will I get a 12, right? So that is the same concept we have used for all these integers matter also. For with the 3, I should multiply a negative 4 to get a negative 12. So using that concept you have done. However, for your own reason, for your own understanding, you can have your mental tricks. But remember, that should be based on the concepts. You can see what is happening here. The trick is when both the numbers are having same sign, you're having the positive answer. See, same sign. Both these are having same sign, negative sign, negative sign. The answer is positive. But if one of the numbers is having a negative sign, the answer is coming as a negative sign, negative number. I hope you learned with the concept addition, subtraction, multiplication, division of integers. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, bye-bye.